Let's jump into this, the first story. And this was the big news that's trending on Twitter right now. Tucker goes full conspiracy theorist on Twitter. I love this. The Daily Mail. They are not too happy with Tucker's position on the war in Ukraine because Daily Mail, of course, is super pro-Ukraine. But they say ex-Fox host debuts his new show and rants about the West's unwavering support for Ukraine, questions why UFO whistleblower is not dominating the news, and says Americans live in ignorance. Okay, so what was he wrong about? Yes, the West is just insanely obsessed with Ukraine, and there's tons of lies. I like how there's a meme going around right now because of this this dam that got blown up. They were like, in 3 months, they're going to come back and be like, oh, yeah, we knew it the whole time, right? The Washington Post reported that apparently we knew about the attempts to sabotage the Nord Stream pipeline well in advance. And so now when it comes to blowing up this dam in Ukraine, they're claiming Russia did it. Surprise, surprise. It'll probably be in 3 months. They'll say, actually, it was Ukraine who did it. But anyway, look, I'm not trying to ignite that whole conversation. Deep foreign policy stuff we can get into in a second. The big story is just that Tucker Carlson has returned. He cannot be stopped. Episode 1, he just posted. It's got 148,000 likes. And the big picture here is the media is officially dead. The corporate media, it's over. Man, I longed for this day.
So I remember posted this at 6 p.m. I just want to, Tucker,
yes.
If you could move, I'm streaming at 6 p.m. So I'd appreciate if you slid over a little bit.
Tucker Carlson.
Because we did okay today, but I think if he keeps this up, he might steal our audience. And
Tucker Carlson posted his first episode, the first episode of his show, on June 6th at 6 p.m.
Ooh. I mean, I would love to conspiracy theorize with y'all, but I did do an episode today on June 6th at 6 p.m.
You did 666,
so I didn't mean to.
Really?
It wasn't on purpose.
Well, it never is.
But it happened. Yeah, maybe you're right.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
It wasn't my first episode. It wasn't my first episode, though.
I think people are going to need to evolve to start being able to listen to 2 conversations at once because there's too many shows at 6 o'clock. You just got to put 2 on it, maybe 2 and then 3 and then 4.
You just pick the show that you like. And you watch the show that you like.
Dude, and if you guys all make videos here, you should put on videos of yourself to listen to yourself and then put on multiple videos of yourself at the same time. It's like heightened evolution.
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
How many views does that have?
Oh, let's find out.
I am looking right now.
Let's.
That's
so it's been up for 2 hours, and it has 9 million.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
It has more views on Twitter.
Doesn't want you to know this.
He is so popular.
He is popular, and he should be.
My dad loves him. I don't actually know much about Tucker Carlson.
He used to be like deep state shill without realizing, like he was in the Matrix. He wore a bow tie and just did talking points for the military industrial complex. And then he had this interview with Jon Stewart where he was humiliated. Jon Stewart humiliated him, and he went into some deep mental place, and then he came out is this new creature of truth. And now he's calling out the bull.
Why was he humiliated?
I disagree.
I
don't think he was. I disagree with you on that. Has he said that's why he transformed?
No, this is just my own
I don't
take.
think Stewart humiliated him. I thought Stewart's performance was even a little embarrassing because Jon Stewart, he was calling Tucker Carlson out for things that he claimed were mistruths, and Tucker responded by saying, "Well, actually, you said this on your show, and that isn't true." And Jon Stewart goes, "It's a comedy show," if Jon Stewart isn't trying to convince people of things because he's just a comedian. It was really, really slimy.
Duplicitous.
It was very duplicitous because you can't have it both ways. You can't say I do an educational comedy show that teaches people things, and then when someone calls you out for misinformation, say, it's a comedy show, who cares? But that's exactly what Jon Stewart was doing.
It's just a joke when I say a thing that happened is true, followed by joke.
Exactly.
What Jon Stewart and the rest of his ilk do is they'll say, here's a true thing that happened, and now joke. And it's then they claim the lie was the joke the whole time.
Exactly.
So they'll say Seamus was seen kicking dogs. Was the dog Snoopy?
And that did happen, but there's a justification for it I don't want to get into right now.
Right, so the point is they'll say, Seamus kicked a dog, and then that's the fact. And then they go, and was the dog Snoopy? Some ridiculous nonsense.
Yeah.
And then everyone laughs. And then later they'll be like, the whole thing was a joke. And you'll be like, Seamus never kicked a dog. And be like, no, we were joking.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll talk about it like it's news plus jokes, and then when they get called out for saying something that wasn't true, they'll go, "Oh, no, but it's just a joke. What's the big deal?"
So I seem to remember Tucker. This is 2003, 4, 5.
a while ago.
Yeah, he was just basically the war in Iraq is good, Barack Obama's bad, and all the Republicans are good, and the Democrats are bad. And that was not. I was in the zone of Obama's good, war is bad, but he was and. Something happened right around that Jon Stewart interview with them where he changed. He disappeared for a year, came out, and he lost the bow tie. and he got way more serious.
I miss the bow tie. I do miss the bow tie, but I remember that interview. And
The bow tie
I think
was so that-
you're right that Tucker Carlson was very much like a typical like kind of neocon broadcaster.
Well, that's what the bow tie was for, so that when you were looking at him and he was saying that we need to go blow up foreigners, you were like, but that bow tie.
That's a nice like.
It's just so funny.
It is a nice bow tie. He's like, I tied it myself.
The other thing, idea is maybe he did a bunch of mushrooms one day.
I don't think. Why is that always it? Why can't someone just come to realize something true without doing a bunch of mushrooms?
Wouldn't it be great?
So that interview made him like change his opinions on the Iraq war.
I don't
and,
think
like,
it
other
did.
No,
stuff?
Ian's just crazy.
I'm just kind of throwing one out there. I don't know if it was that interview, but around that
Okay.
time of his life, he kind of had this
He
change of
switched.
momentum.
He switched all his opinions.
At
I don't know
some
about
point,
all
not
of
all
them,
of them, but like
but a lot.
he began to oppose the kind of neoconservative foreign policy perspective because he used to be very much in lockstep with the rest of the right wing at that time, which was saying, yes, our freedom is over in the Middle East. Let's go
Yeah,
get it.
Osama bin Laden
Yeah.
bad. We were attacked 9/11, terrorists, 2
Yeah,
airplanes
I'm
brought
being
down.
snide. I'm being snide, right? But
Yeah.
neoconservatism is intellectually bankrupt. It's just a form of Marxism.
I feel like they just co-opted the conservative movement, this neo-war movement. Now they've
Trump kicked him out,
Democratic
though.
movement.
I was so young when all that stuff was going on. Like I don't even.
How old were you in 06?
I was 10.
No, yeah, we're like the same age.
Yeah.
about the same age. I remember those.
Did you
times.
watch that stuff when you were back then?
So I watched it a little bit. Yeah, I used to, when we would drive anywhere, we didn't listen to music in the car. It was always talk radio, always talk radio. And so I heard a lot of it. And my dad is one of those guys where he listens to both sides. At that time, he definitely did. And so I heard, unfortunately, I heard my fair share of NPR as well. But yeah, a lot of like Rush Limbaugh, Michael Savage, the OGs.
Yeah, my dad used to listen to them too, but I didn't know what they were talking about. I was so confused.
I was like fired, like little 10-year-old James
Yeah,
was fired
yeah.
about. I was like, these politically correct liberals, they're destroying America.
I was like, Dad, turn the radio off.
The scary man is yelling.
Yeah. I was like, Dad, put on country.
I think part of Tucker's like what I love about him is that he used to be a neocon, used to be like in the Matrix, and now he's out of it. Like
Yeah.
I love the retribution story, the come from behind victory.
What do you mean in the Matrix? Because when we say that, like we talk about like dating and relationships. I'm curious what you guys in like the political world.
Well,
say.
you explain it first. Like, what is the dating matrix?
It's just kind of like men grow up thinking that like women want the guy that gives them flowers, treats them well, and they grow up and find out that's not true.
Right.
I mean,
And there's the red pill.
They get kind of mad at me because there's so many like people have so many different definitions of it, so they kind of argue over it. But that's like in layman's terms
About the Matrix.
Yeah, well, yeah, like the red pill, because a lot of people use that word for so many different things.
Yeah.
But so I'm curious in the political world what you guys mean
like
by
the
that.
literal matrix.
Yeah, I thought
Like there's so the political red pill is there is a corporate narrative that the average person believes is reality. And if you are to quote unquote take the red pill, you wake up to the untruths that is the corporate press, the media, politics,
For
the
me,
establishment
it was
narrative.
9/11. Like I was fed. I thought, okay, a couple of planes hit the buildings, they knocked them down, and Osama bin Laden's the one that's responsible for all of this.
Okay.
And then I found out later, like, oh, there's a lot of evidence that there's more to it than just a couple of planes and this dude in the Middle East.
I think Saudi Arabia got sued over their involvement or something. What was that?
Are
I don't
you-
know. I don't want to get into it because I don't know enough about it. But there was like there's a lot more than
It is
just
a rabbit hole.
Are you guys like Bush did 9/11?
No,
No.
we don't all share the same opinion.
No, okay.
We're actually a pretty diverse
I
panel, to
don't.
be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any evidence of who did it, but there's a
Okay.
lot more going on than what I thought. Like the way the buildings fell down in near free fall is like, dude.
So-
But instead of just getting into a whole 9/11 debate, how
Yeah,
about we
yeah.
just talk
But it
about
shocked me how
what the red
political
pill
matrix.
is. Yeah,
Right.
I would say for me, like the political matrix, there's a couple different things, and I usually don't use terms like the red pill or the matrix for the reason that you described, which is that they're thrown around by so many people to
Yeah.
represent so many different things. But I would say that in one sense, the matrix is sort of like all the social political ideas that are forced onto people that they're convinced of that are untrue. And I would say one of those, at least in the dating marketplace, is just, the sexual revolution, more generally speaking, this idea that people are happy when they have sex outside of marriage, that this is
Right.
something that people should aspire to do, and that it's a healthy way for man to live, and that we're just a product of our own self-invention. And as long as a person is getting their sexual gratification, what they're doing is beyond reproach, basically.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.